Hi, this is Laura, and it's week 4, and we will be learning constructivism and prototyping. Our topics this week: constructivist or constructivism learning, active learning, deductive, inductive, and abductive reasoning, and using that to go from abstraction to concrete in our prototyping, and then prototyping, and then the overview of week 4 activities from low fidelity abstract and high concrete fidelity prototyping. Just a reminder where we are in our phases. We're in phase 3, stages 5 and 6. So we are going to be working on prototyping this week, which is essentially developing our tinkering and practicing skills to get something initially on paper, that's the low fidelity, and then working to get something online for our solutions to our wicked problems. Constructivist learning, also known as constructivism, from a theory perspective, is based around the idea that learners are active participants in their learning journey, and knowledge is constructed based on experiences. And there's a number of theorists, Dewey, Piaget, Vygotsky, Gagne, and Brunner, that are different kinds of constructivists, social constructivists, primarily. And as events occur, each person reflects on their experience and incorporates new ideas with their prior knowledge. And learners develop schemas to organize acquired knowledge. And so what that means is essentially you use your experience to construct meaning, and then you learn from that collective meaning. Active learning is another element of constructivist thinking and also design thinking. Active learning is any approach to instruction in which all students are asked to engage in the learning process. And active learning stands in contrast to traditional modes of instruction where students are passive. So this little diagram you probably experienced a number of these different kinds of activities, but from the very simplistic activities like writing and reflection all the way up to kind of where we are on this in the experiential design thinking, interactive types of activities that we will be doing in this course. Deductive, inductive, and abductive reasoning, these are all used to help you continue to not only ideate, but create your prototypes. And so you're using various kinds of reasoning to deal with both uncertainty, and that's a deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning with probability, and abductive reasoning with guesswork. We're going to be spending a lot of time in our abductive reasoning where it's not always clear what the outcome is, but we have a general path towards what we're trying to do with our designs and our solutions. So if you're feeling uncomfortable about where you are, don't worry, that's very normal. It's very typical with where we are. This diagram just gives you some examples of different kinds of ways you can think about deductive, inductive, and abductive reasoning. The reason we spend time on it is to help you understand that it's not always linear to find a solution. So some of your wicked problems, they're wicked because they're challenging and because there isn't an exact right answer. And that's what we're trying to figure out, is there's probably many answers or many solutions. And so as you do some design work, you're going to have an opportunity, and you've been coming up with ideas through the ideation process, to continue to practice. And as you do your prototypes, you might start on something and throw it away and then start over. And you might have many ideas. Prototyping involves producing an early, inexpensive, very, very drafty practice, scaled down version of the end product, service, training, whatever it is that you've already been working on. Really, you've boiled down at this point your solutions to your wicked problem to about 2 things, and you're going to continue to work towards coming up with what we're going to call an artifact, or artifact or 2, that you're going to be then putting online. So this week you'll have practice doing both the low fidelity abstract, which is sketches, simple designs, and then also taking that to the next level. And prototyping offers designers the opportunity to bring the ideas to life, test, because that's one of the next steps. You can see in our diagram, we've been empathizing, defining, going back and forth, doing some ideation. Now we're going to be in prototyping, and we'll move into testing in future weeks. So this is where, this will hopefully help you understand where we're going. Now here I mentioned before low and high types of fidelity prototyping. So examples of low fidelity: paper prototypes, sketches, storyboarding, paper-based models. High fidelity is a digital prototype, such as a website, a design studio software, or a training application. So I want you to this week really keep in mind that this is practice. You're going to, in the assignments, be asked to do just some very, again, draft practice artifacts, which are we don't expect you to do the entire solution that you may have come up with. Like if you're going to design an entire training, I'm really just going to ask you to think of one or two what we'll call artifacts that you would be putting into the high fidelity model, which is a design online that others can see. The low fidelity, you might go a little further. You can take your two solutions and kind of practice them out by sketching. Think of drawing out what you might do for, let's say, a training module or something like that. You're going to be doing something on paper. So first you'll be doing something on paper for your two solutions, and then you're going to be picking out of those two solutions 1 to 2 artifacts that would then be part of something online that you can show to others. You're welcome to do more, but you don't have to. I want you to know you don't have to do the entire thing. So the fundamental steps are just start building something. Pick something and help you think about both in the low fidelity and high fidelity. Just start putting something on paper. Don't spend too much time. Don't get it too attached to it, because you might start and not like it. And then you can redraft what you're doing. Remember what you're testing for. Eventually you're going to be moving into testing. So keep it simple, keep it aligned with what is the actual problem you're trying to solve and what is your solution. And then we want to always keep in mind empathy. So build with the user in mind. So again, keep it simple and something that end users can work with and it will resonate with them. So here is the assignments for week 4. You'll continue to work with your problem statements to refine, but also you're going to be doing that in the context of building both low and high fidelity prototypes. So you'll have individual and small group assignments. So the low fidelity, which is still kind of in the abstract mode, as I mentioned, you're going to have the ability to do a low fidelity prototype for your two solutions. And then you're going to take some of the artifacts or concepts or elements from those. It can be one or both of your two solutions, and you're going to develop a high concrete prototype in various tools. There's a lot of resources that I provided. Some of those online tools are Wix or Weebly. You can use Canva. You can use free Canvas. Do not purchase anything. You don't have to do any of that. It's all free. And if you have additional questions, let me know. But I've put a bunch of resources in the assignment for you to practice. What you want to make sure is that whatever you create for the high fidelity is something that others can access. So a URL or something like that. You can also share with your classmates other tools you're aware of. You'll have a whole class discussion where you reflect and share your thoughts about constructive learning. And then in summary, we'll have more resources on learning design, focusing on constructivism, reasoning, prototyping, and then sharing and reflecting with your peers. Thank you very much.